Hi, XYPN. My name is Dakota Burrow. I'm the founder of Kotafi, the AI-powered all-in-one marketing platform that's revolutionizing how advisors interact with digital marketing. Think about Kotafi like your full-time marketing agent, working 24/7 behind the scenes to automate the many digital marketing activities that you need automated. Things like site building, sending out newsletters, social media, and content generation, all streamlined, all automated under Kotafi's extremely powerful AI platform. Today in this video, I'm going to be covering a series of demos where I go over how Kotafi is helping advisors in various applications. So without further ado, let's hop into it. In this first demo, I'm going to be talking about how Kotafi is revolutionizing site building for financial advisors. One of the many complaints we hear from financial advisors is that their websites are simply not working. They have outdated design, they're taking up too much of the advisor's time, and ultimately they're not drawing in or converting traffic. At Kotafi, we set out to build a platform that allowed users to create beautiful websites easily that save them time, stay compliant, and ultimately grow their book of business. So let's see how Kotafi is doing that. So in this blocks tab here on the side, I'm going to add a new component to my website. Let's go ahead and say I wanted to add some stats to my website, a common thing you might hear from advisors. I can look at the Kotafi catalog of different blocks that have been pre-built, and I can find one that I like. Let's go ahead and add this one to the website. I can simply do that by dragging it onto the canvas, and boom, there's our new block for us. Now, notice a couple things here. One, this component was already pre-built for us, so we don't have to worry about layouts. We don't have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what looks good. Kotafi makes sure that it looks good out of the box. The second thing I want you to notice is that this block intelligently was aware of the brand's colors and text patterns and automatically updated it to match the brand's colors. So again, they don't have to spend time on creativity trying to figure out how to make this look good. It just looks good out of the box. Users can then add all the components they want, and boom, they have a beautiful, rich-looking website. All right, now that we have a beautiful component here, let's say we want to make some adjustments here. So I like this hero image, but let's go ahead and do some tweaking here. So I want to tweak the headline here. Wealth management built on relationships and trust. Let's go ahead and say wealth management built for years. Easy, simply can add that. If I want to change the colors or change the background image, that's also easy. Let's go ahead and change our background image here. This one's really beautiful, but let's go ahead and see what else Kotafi has to offer. Kotafi integrates with a media library and also has public assets available for users. Of course, they can upload their own, but let's go ahead and search for a new video. Let's say I want a skyline video of Tampa. Let's go ahead and find a video that matches that. We can see what shows up. And I like this one right here. So let's go ahead and see. Yep, that looks great. Let's insert that into Kotafi and boom, immediately there for the advisor. It's that simple to build websites with Kotafi. Now, of course, once we're done with this, we need to set it to our compliance team. So Kotafi has built-in compliance workflows where users can send things to compliance. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this for review here. Now, one complaint we've heard from advisors is that, hey, I submit something to my compliance officer, but it was rejected. Can you help us out with that? With Kotafi, we wanted to take a proactive measure here. And so we introduced our AI reviews to every financial website. So let's go ahead and analyze this page. What this is going to do is this is going to run our website through FINRA and SEC guidelines to see if we're in violation of anything. So this here is analyzing 6 pages. Let's see what it found. Ooh, it found a couple of critical errors here. So on our homepage, let's click into one of these. It says we're using placeholder disclosure language. Okay, so this is violating FINRA. We can see the rule it's violating, and it recommends we make an adjustment here. All right, easy. So before it even hit our compliance desk, we were able to preactively screen that and find that, saving us, again, in this second demo, I'm going to be covering our powerful SEO tool. So what is SEO? Most financial advisors don't know the answer to this, but SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's the tools and techniques that you need in order to rank well on Google and increasingly on chatbots. This is extremely important for driving users to your site so that you can convert them into clients. Let's go ahead and see how Kotafi is helping advisors with this. So the first thing advisors can see is they can see an overview of how their firm is doing. This basically highlights all the keywords that they're winning. A keyword is basically something that someone is searching for on Google. We can see the position of this keyword, how this firm ranks, the search volume of that keyword, the cost per click, this is how much people are spending on Google Ads to get that keyword, and the difficulty of owning that keyword. We can also check out the competition to see how they're doing. So here in the competition tab, we can see that this firm, for one, is doing really well, but we can see where their competitors are doing. So we can see the keywords that this competitor is ranking for. We can see the pages that are driving this traffic, and we can see how this firm is doing in terms of number of top keywords. But one of the problems that advisors face is even when they're armed with this data, they don't necessarily know what to do about it or where to begin. Kotafi made this simple by scoring all keyword opportunities for advisors so they could easily start and initiate new plans to tackle these keywords. Let's go ahead and walk through that. Here we can see a bunch of keyword opportunities that Kotafi has surfaced for these advisors. If we look through these rankings here, we can see the same information, the difficulty, the cost per click, and things like that that help advisors know which opportunities are the best to tackle. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tackle this keyword right here, financial retirement planner. Let's go ahead and create a plan for that. What a plan is this is AI coming up with a strategy to actually own this keyword and rank higher in the Google search for it. So as it's building this plan, it's looking at our website, it's looking at the information it knows about this financial advisor, and it's coming up with a good strategy for how to tackle this. So here it's recommending three things. One, it's recommending enabling a financial retirement planning calculator on Kotafi. By the way, Kotafi has a bunch of lead gen tools that users can easily enable. It's then recommending writing a support article on this topic. And then finally, it's recommending sharing this article with social media. Let's go ahead and I'm going to choose to write a support article today. So let's go ahead and write a support article. And now this is going to break it down into the key important points to hit on this article. And with a click of a button, we can actually write this article. So let's go ahead and write an article for this. Now, we know article writing is tedious. So what Kotafi does is this automatically writes the article for us. It knows information about our firm, it knows our existing article set, and it can create an article that is specifically tuned to target that keyword and then have backlinks to existing articles, which helps with SEO and driving traffic. So here we can see the article that was generated, and we can see how quickly this actually came about here. So this is now targeting this keyword for us, and we can go ahead and modify some things. Let's go ahead and add an image here. I'm just going to add our friendly image there. I'm going to go ahead and make some changes to this article. Like I want to bold this right here. And these paragraphs, let's go ahead and flip those so we can quickly just drag and flip those articles. Awesome. So now this is ready to go. But of course, we want this to go through a compliance review. Kotafi thought of that. And so with every article, you can run this through a readiness check. What this readiness check will do is it analyzes this article on three verticals. It looks at the SEO side of things to make sure it's actually following good SEO practices, so it's discovered on Google. It makes sure it's engaging, but also it's making sure that it's looking compliant. This is another great pre-screening technique that Kotafi has to make sure that advisors are armed before this ever hits the compliance desk. All right, so this article scored okay, but let's see where it's really suffering. Here, it looks like it could be better on some SEO, and it has some recommendations for how we can improve this. Awesome. We can do all of those improvements within the settings tab. We can also see that compliance side of things is okay, but there's a couple of different warnings, and it tells us what we need to disclaim away or what we need to fix about the article. Awesome, perfect. And as always, we can submit this to our compliance reviewer where they can check that out in their compliance section. So awesome. We just went through the entire SEO sequence, finding the right opportunities for us to actually tackle, and then generating content for us so that we can score higher on Google. This has massive implications for our website as it drives traffic that we can then convert into real clients. As we come to a close, we've seen now how Kotafi is revolutionizing site building, SEO, and content generation, but Kotafi is more than that. Kotafi is a full suite of tools helping advisors save time, automating work, and ultimately growing their practice. This tool list includes things like lead magnets built in, a newsletter and email nurturing built in, social media, compliance, analytics, and even a chatbot, all inside one Kotafi system which advisors can use to grow their firm, save them time, and ultimately do so in a way that is affordable for them. I hope you've enjoyed this demo of Kotafi, and I look forward to connecting more at XYPN Live.